Okay, so we're gonna first start out, we're gonna introduce a goblet squat here. This is where you wanna start with the squat and eventually bring it up to a barbell squat or something like that, but the movement is exactly the same. So Jillian, we're gonna get you to pick up this dumbbell here, and she's gonna hold it mid-chest, turn to the side so you can see the proper angles here, and I'll just get you to demonstrate a squat. So again, as you can see, that's really great, Jillian. I'm gonna walk around to the back here. You're gonna come down and just hold that position. So as you can see, her torso and her shins are at similar angles here, 90 degrees at the knee. She has a neutral spine, neutral neck. Come back up. It's hard to hold that position, isn't it, Jill? Yeah, all right, and we're gonna do a couple more. Very good, her feet stay flat on the floor. She's not moving around at the feet. And again, everything here is neutral as well. So this is a great position for a goblet squat. You'd probably do 3-4 sets like this. Really works the legs and the glutes. Next, we're going to demonstrate a lunge technique. Now, a lunge is just a one-legged squat or an asymmetrical version of a squat. So your body shape, so your torso and your shins should be very similar to when you're doing it with two legs, which is a squat, which we demonstrated just now. So Jillian, I'm going to go ahead and show some lunges. So she just steps forward and bends the knee and the hip. All right, I'll get you to turn to the side here, Jillian, yeah? And continue with some lunges here. Boom. And this is a great exercise to do to strengthen the legs, to strengthen the glute. And it's very functional too. I mean, this is just walking, going up the stairs, stepping up on a curb. So anyone can start with this. Basically, we learned how to do this movement in the first year of our life when we were learning how to walk. Okay, so now we're gonna take you through a hip hinge progression. So it starts with being able to bend at the hips and keeping a neutral spine. And this is how I coach it with my clients. So you want to bend your hips back, kind of like you're trying to close the car door with your bum. Yeah, that's it, good, and back up. So then once you can do that, you move the stick back a little bit further. Go ahead and push down, good. We're just gonna keep that neutral neck too. So you come back again, push your bum back, yeah, there we go. So we're gonna take that hip hinge down. If you're having a little trouble with it, this is a good way that I coach my clients to be able to really do the hip hinge well. So I'm gonna get you with the toes in here. There you go. And again, she's just gonna lean back and touch her hips back to her heels and then push through. That's it. So you're gonna come up, boom. So you wanna make sure that the glutes are doing the movement here. Actually, that's right, she bends down and she comes up and engages and squeezes those glutes in the back there. So if you're having trouble doing this, you can start on the ground here to really activate the glutes before you do a Romanian deadlift. And we're gonna do a Romanian deadlift right now, yeah? A Romanian deadlift is not exactly a deadlift because during an actual deadlift, the weight is gonna be on the floor every single repetition. But a Romanian deadlift, you're just gonna bring the weight down past the knees and you're gonna stretch the hamstring out and then come through like we did earlier when she was on her knees, but with some weight this time, okay? So we got dumbbells for this. You could use a barbell or kettlebell. She's gonna come down, keeping that neutral spine, neutral neck. Come through, make sure that the glutes are actually doing the work on this one. That's great. And this really trains the glutes and the hamstrings well, and it's a really strong exercise. So if you're training for strength, then you're gonna wanna include some Romanian deadlifts and deadlifts in your program. But take my advice here, learn how to do this movement really well with a neutral spine and your core engaged before you add some weight to it, because people have gotten injured trying this before they can do it properly. Okay, so we're gonna move from the lower body to the upper body, and to get there you had to go through the torso. Now, being able to keep your spine in a neutral position while you do all these exercises is essential, not only to prevent and treat your lower back pain, but for any exercise program that you're gonna do moving forward to make you strong for life. So a plank becomes the number one way to really engage that core and teach your body to keep it in that position while you're doing movement. We'll start with a basic raised plank here on the elbows. Jill, if you want to demonstrate here. So she has her chest over the elbows, as you can see, and she's straight all the way down with a neutral curve here and a neutral neck. Probably a little more space between your feet there just to give you some stability. So this really engages the abs, the obliques, the lower back. Her arms and shoulders are being engaged here, the quadricep muscles in the legs. Do you feel that work in the full body?
Yep.
It looks really good, Jill. So what you want to be able to do is hold this position at the torso during all other exercises. Okay, we're gonna do a plank on the floor, just show you how to make this a little more challenging. And when you get really fit like Jill, you'll be able to do this too. Just gonna bring those hips down a little closer, a little more space between your feet, Jill. Good job, drop those shoulder blades down into neutral, and you're gonna try to hold this position for a period of time. That's challenging, huh?
Yep.
It sure is. Okay, so if you want to start a new exercise program, you gotta definitely throw some planks in there. Okay, so now we want to move to the upper body exercises. Really, you only have two moves that you can do with the upper body, and that's going to be a push and a pull. Now, these are primal movements of the human body. We're going to start out with the very simplified versions of these, and we're going to do more advanced programming in future videos, but for today we'll start with the basics, okay? So a push and a pull look very much the same. We're going to start with 90-degree angle at the elbows. So this is position 1. And position 2 is going to be straight out from the shoulders. Here is position 2, right? So if you were going to do a pull, then the weight's going to be pulling in this direction, and you're going to pull it toward you to position 1, and then you've got to control it down. So there's a pull. If we were going to do a push, the weight is going to be coming down on top of you here. You're going to start out in position 1, and then straighten those arms to position 2. Okay, so now we're going to demonstrate a push-up. We're going to do it on a raised platform here, and anytime you raise something up like this from the front, then you're actually lowering the weight a little bit. When you want to increase the intensity of the push-up, you just go closer to the floor and all the way down to the floor. And if you want to increase the intensity from there, you start to raise your feet up on the other end. I'm sure you've done those before, the feet raised push-ups.
Yeah.
So we're going to start on a raised push-up, and we'll show you that today. Again, it's going to start out here or here, position 1, and then she's going to push out to position 2, which we just demonstrated a second ago. So you want to give it a shot there? Okay, we've got a plank going on in the body here, and then she's going to do those 2 positions at the arms. Position 1 and position 2. Good. This is going to work the chest, the pectoralis muscles here. It's going to work your tricep muscles, of course your whole core and everything like that. There you go. This is a great push. Now this turns into a dumbbell press, a barbell press, you name it. The push is going to stay relatively the same. All right, feel that work in the chest?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. So we're going to take that push up now, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do a flat dumbbell press. Now, again, increase the intensity of this by increasing the weight. You can also move to a barbell press, which is a very classic exercise, a barbell press, but we'll demonstrate it today with neutral hands and a dumbbell press, okay? So Jillian, you want to lay back on a flat bench. The feet have to be engaged or pressed against the floor, and the legs have to be involved in this exercise just a little bit. You want your core on. You want to have a nice neutral spine here. So you don't want to press down and flex at the back while you're doing this exercise. And as you can see, her elbow's at position 1, and she's going to move the dumbbells to position 2. Boom, position 2. So come back down, and it's nice and controlled all the way through the movement. Try not to bring those shoulders forward. Keep the shoulders on the bench. Those legs should be turned on just a little bit. There you go, press up, good. Again, this works the same muscles, your pectoralis, your triceps. Okay, so now we're going to demonstrate a row. So you go back to the section where we show you position 1, position 2. This is going to be the row aspect. So it's going to start out here. That's position 1 now, and this is position 2. This is a seated pulley row. You can find a pulley machine in just about any gym. And we got a couple of handles on here and some weight. So Jillian, you want to demonstrate this movement here? There we go. So she's going to sit nice and tall. Her legs have to be engaged, supporting her weight there. Position 1 and position 2. That's right, opening those shoulders. Good, back and forth. And nice and slow and controlled is always your best option. You know, slowing these exercises down is much better than trying to speed them up. So slow is good. Looks really good, Jill. Then this is going to work the lats back here and the bicep muscles too, okay? Feel that working it? Yeah. Great. All right, we got another row for you here that you can put into your beginner program. Is a bent over row. Now make sure before you attempt this exercise that your hip hinge is really good and that you're able to keep that neutral spine and your core on all the way through the movement. Okay, so it's going to be the same as all the other rows we showed you. You're going to start in a bent position. The dumbbells are here, position 1, position 2. Okay, want to give them a little show there, Jill? So here's a nice bend over, a little more space between your feet if you don't mind. Great, and a neutral neck. Okay, and here we go, position 1, position 2. Good. So you can see how this is similar to the pulley row. We're using dumbbells here today. Of course, you could use a barbell. This is just going to train the lower back a little bit. So just be careful when you start this exercise that you really got enough core engagement here. And if you can't do this without really feeling that lower back too much, you might want to start on another seated row machine or something like that. But this is great for training a lower back and for building your strength. Good job, Jill.